Let's work through question 14 from chapter 14. So the question says, Consumer Reports conducted extensive tests of GPS-based navigators and developed an overall rating based on factors such as ease of use, driver information, display, and battery life. Following data show the price and ratings for a sample of 20 GPS units with a 4.3-inch screen that Consumer Reports tested. So we have all of this data. I would recommend taking a picture with your phone or taking a screenshot right now so that way you have all of this data as we are working through this problem. So you'll notice we have all of these different GPS navigators. We have their prices and we have this rating that they found. So we're going to use all of that information to develop the estimated regression equation, and then we can predict the rating for a GPS system that has a price of $200. So first, we need to find the estimated regression equation. So we have this worksheet with the 10 different columns where we put everything into our lists in our calculators. So the first pieces of information that we need are our x's and our y's. Well, our x's in this problem are going to be the prices, and our y's are going to be the ratings. So we'll want to fill all of those in to our worksheet. Now, the next couple lists or columns in this worksheet are x minus x bar and y minus y bar. But we have our x's and we have our y's, but we don't have our x bar and we don't have our y bar. So we need to now find x bar and y bar. So x bar, that's just the average of all x values, right? So all of your x values are in your first list or your first column. So we need to find the average of those, and your x bar will come out to be 233. And then y bar, we need to find the average of all of our y values, and that comes out to 70. So now we can use those x bar and y bar values to help us fill out the next couple lists. So x minus x bar, you could go individually through them and subtract 400 minus our x bar of 233, 330 minus our x bar of 233. Or if you're working on a calculator, you can go up and highlight your third list and go L1 minus 233, hit enter, and that will populate the entire list for you. So what it's doing is taking 400 minus your x bar of 233 to get you 167. An x value of 330 minus x bar of 233 gets you 97. So it's going through each individual x value for you. Now we can do the same thing here for y minus y bar. So our y bar was 70. So all of our y values minus 70, and our list will look like this. So 82 minus 70 gets you 12. 80 minus 70 gets you 10, and so on. Our next list is x minus x bar times y minus y bar. So that's your third and your fourth list multiplied together. So if we do that, our list will look like this. So 167 times 12 gets you 2004. 97 times 10 gets you 970. Now list number 6, this is your x minus x bar squared. So we have x minus x bar back in list number 3, right? So we are just squaring that third list. So if we square all of those amounts, our list will look like this. So 167 squared is 27,889. 97 squared is 9,409. Now we get to our y hat. So we can now find our y hat, which is our estimated regression equation. So that's your b sub 0 plus b sub 1 times x. So b sub 0, that's your y-intercept. B sub 1, that's your slope. And we have formulas on our formula sheet that help us find those amounts. So b sub 0 is y bar minus b sub 1 times x bar. Well, we have our y bar and our x bar, but we don't have b sub 1 quite yet. So before we can find our y-intercept, we need to find our slope. So you take a quick look at this formula and it might look a little overwhelming. All it is the sum of a couple lists that you've already found. So if we take a look back at the table that we've filled out so far and our slope formula. So our numerator is the sum of the list that has x minus x bar times y minus y bar. So that's the sum of your fifth list in this chart. That sum will be divided by the sum of x minus x bar squared. So that's your sixth list in this chart. So if you sum list 5 and sum list 6, you'll end up with 8,100 divided by 127,420. Divide those two numbers and you'll find your slope to be 0.06357. So now that you have your slope, now we can find our y-intercept, our b sub 0. So our y bar that we found earlier, that was 70. Our b sub 1, we just found that. And our x bar was 233. So we fill all of those into our formula, and we will find our y-intercept, our b sub 0, to be 55.188. So now we can plug all of that in to figure out what our y hat, what our regression equation will be. So your y hat equals 55.188 plus 0.06357x. So as the price increases, your rating will increase as well, because that slope that we found was positive. So now the second part of this question is to predict the rating for a GPS system that has a price of $200. So we're going to use that y hat formula that we just found. So that 200 is a price, and our prices were our x values. So we plug that 200 in for x. If we multiply that 200 by our slope, you'll get 12.714. And so our predicted amount for the rating of a GPS system that has a price of $200 will end up as 67.902.